Hello guys and welcome, it is ThatSrb2DUDE here today bringing you yet another Splatoon 2 video. Now, I know for sure a lot of you guys over this pretty much week, or I don't know how many days it's been, but a lot of you guys have been asking me where is the patch comparison video. Unfortunately, there is no patch comparison video for version 4.5, mainly because when Nintendo decided to drop the patch, I was away in France, and of course, how would I predict that there was going to be a patch? Obviously, coming around, I guess, the time when, you know, I was in France, so yeah, Nintendo snuck one in there, and of course, I couldn't really record anything to provide a patch comparison video for you guys, so sad face. But we are still going to be talking about what type of things have changed coming into version 4.5. I'm gonna really just go over like the main things and the things that we should probably look forward to in this current patch and all that type of stuff. So without further ado, let's get into things. So just to get the biggest thing out the way, the sloshing machine. What a time to be alive that thing is finally nerfed. I was about to say buffed by accident, but thank you, Nintendo. It's finally been nerfed. The projectile radius hit thing was just really wide and they nerfed it by 6%. A lot of people have been saying to me it's not that big of a nerf, but I guess to explain why 6% is actually quite big is mainly because, of course, it's 6% all around the projectile, not just one side of it, all around. So I was saying this in my stream the other day, is just imagine a 12-inch pizza and compare the size from a 12-inch pizza to a 14-inch pizza. Like, of course, it only goes up by 2 inches, but you can definitely notice that the 14-inch pizza is huge compared to the 12-inch pizza. So if you see it like that, then there you go. And the thing is, it's also very noticeable, as I can show you guys in this clip here from my stream the other day. They're still fighting, dude. They're still fighting. Dude, that was pretty funny. The Sloshing machines were fighting for the longest time. They told me it wasn't nerfed. Like if it wasn't nerfed, they probably would have killed each other already. But I mean, I don't know what to really say about that. So, definitely, it has been nerfed. It takes a little bit more accuracy now, which is how it should be. I'm glad that they nerfed just that, because I think that was just mainly the biggest thing about the weapon that kind of made it kind of like, why is this so strong, you know? I definitely feel like it's going to be a strong weapon, especially for things like tower control, but how it was before to how it is now is how it definitely should be, so claps for that, Nintendo. The Sloshing machine also has increased ink consumption by roughly 20%, which means that you now have to be a lot more conservative when using the Sloshing machine, so thank God for that. Now, of course, there's a bunch of other stuff. I'm just gonna quickly go through some minor things. Starting with the Splatoon, Splattershot Jr., and Aerospray. Ink recovery begins 5 frames faster than usual, so a little buff for that. Aerospray got a little bit of a painting buff too. The Tri-Slosh Essential Shot goes a little bit further. And Ink Storm's decreased area of effect radius is down by roughly 6%. Basically, it goes a little bit slower than usual. Now, talking about the Splatbrella, it's not exactly listed here, but in other weapon buffs, the Splatbrella is technically nerfed. So, according to the 52 gal, it has increased damage by 21% when inflicting damage onto a Splatbrella. Same with 96 gal, except it's for 57%. The Lunar Blaster has 64% more damage increased onto the Splatbrella shield. It also includes the Squeezer, which is 57%, same like the 96 cal. The Carbon Roller, Splat Roller, and Flingza Roller increased by 13%. And last but not least, the Bamboozler, it's not actually increased, it's more of a buff for the Splatbrella, but the Bamboozler's damage has been decreased to the Splatbrella shield by roughly 20%. So, of course, if you didn't know, when you put a bunch of main power up onto the Bamboozler, of course, it can get up to like 99.9 damage and basically shred a Splatbrella shield extremely fast, and I'm pretty sure it's still going to be able to do that, except just not as fast as usual. You're probably going to have to take 1 or 2 extra shots if you are a Bamboozler main now. But for the Splatbrella, that is definitely a hard hit, especially since the Sloshing machine is down, so we're going to see a little bit more of these types of different weapons. Now, another one that I want to shed some light on is for the Rapid Blaster. Now, when putting on the main power gear ability, the explosion radius for the Rapid Blaster increases. I mean, from my experience right now, from I guess all the Rapid Blasters I have come across, it's definitely a noticeable thing, but it's not as bad as how it was before I had an extremely wide explosion radius. I'm pretty sure you could probably get it to that point if you're using 6 mains of main power up, but honestly, I doubt that that would even be a thing, since most players try to accommodate their gear with all different types of things. So I mean, it's going to help just to have a little bit more, I guess, explosion radius, obviously, when it comes to fighting and stuff. So definitely a really nice buff to it. And I'm not going to be surprised if we start seeing a bunch of rapids coming into this meta. The mini Splatling has been buffed, and honestly, we've been seeing a lot more mini Splatlings coming out as of late due to this buff. Basically, it has an increased movement buff where while it's charging, it's increased by, of course, 3%, and while it's firing, it's been increased by 8%. So in general, the mini Splatling is just a lot faster, which is going to be very helpful for anybody who's to use this weapon. Now, another big nerf coming in for the H3 nozzle nose. This is probably going to hit the H3D the hardest, mainly because that's what pretty much everyone uses. But the effects of main power up has been decreased. So basically, if you didn't know, the H3 nozzle nose, if you were to put main power up onto this weapon, you get increased damage. So I guess the curve of how much damage that you can actually apply is actually been decreased by quite a bit. I don't believe you can actually get your damage up to 49.9 damage anymore, which is basically what a lot of people try to abuse with the H3, because it can help you get like a 2-shot kill, whether if one of your enemies were, I guess, standing in your ink for like less than a split second, it would just require 2 shots for you to finish it off. But fortunately for the H3, this is no longer the case anymore. Now here's another nerf which I was not expecting. I mean, a lot of people did use this weapon, but it is hit pretty hard. The Explosher increased ink consumption by 30%. That is hard because I love this weapon, and decreased radius of splash damage explosion by roughly 7%. Now, I'm so sad because mainly why this is so bad is because a regular Explosher can fire 10, you know, Explosher shots, whatever, when using no main saver or anything like that. But now, with this nerf, it's now gone down to 8 shots when not wearing any main saver or anything like that. So you definitely gotta wear some main saver just so you can get it to its normal standard, or probably, and of course you gotta be a little bit more accurate with the Explosher, which, I mean, honestly for me it's not that much of a problem. But damn, dude, the ink consumption is really hard, mainly because now it requires you to have a lot of ink just for 1 shot. So it's definitely gonna be harder to use this weapon. Of course, you're gonna be a little bit more conservative than usual, but I'm really sad because I really did like this weapon, and how it's been, you know, nerfed was, I don't really like it. Now, it's just a little bit more pain to hit for the Sloshing machine. Its sub-weapon, the Fizzy Bomb, decreased damage radius of the second explosion by roughly 6%, and decreased damage radius of the third explosion by roughly 6%. So basically, the explosion radius of those bombs get weaker and weaker as they, you know, skip. Going into some minor sub-weapons, of course, the Auto Bomb decreased time before ink recovery after by around 15 frames, so you know you recover ink like 15 frames faster, so it's not so bad. Point Sensor is actually pretty interesting. Decreased ink consumption by 55% to 45%, so you can throw 2 point sensors now instead of just 1. There's been decreased movement speed and distance of the point sensor when thrown. Decreased movement speed of the point sensor when thrown when not using any sub power up gear ability by roughly 8%, which is kind of sad. And there's like 3 other nerfs to the point sensor where it says decreased movement speed, just to, I guess, to account for being able to throw more point sensors than usual. So also decreased effect of the ink saver sub ability by roughly 8%, so you're probably gonna have to wear like 1 more sub to get it to that usual standard if you're going to use it. But pretty much it's like a neutral buff and nerf, where they've made one part of it strong and made one part of it weaker. I mean, from the looks of it, it doesn't seem so bad, but honestly a plus because you're using your sub-weapon for much less ink now, so it's very, very helpful. And probably the biggest one out of all the sub-weapons is the Sprinkler, and I have definitely been using this in some of my streams, especially for one particular weapon. So the Sprinkler.
Decreased time before the sprinkler begins shooting ink after being placed by roughly 30 frames to 60 frames of a second, which is basically half a second. And increased radius of ink spray when placed on a wall or the ground by roughly 2.5 times. Now, if you guys have not seen how the sprinkler performs now, it performs so much better than it ever has before. And I extremely like how it works because it feels like it actually paints very efficiently now. So basically, if you have to throw a sprinkler down onto the floor, there's just a thick layer of ink developed, and it's just very helpful because you can use this as, I guess, a certain type of movement option or something. Like if you're trying to escape somewhere and you have enough ink, you might as well throw a sprinkler down on your feet because that will allow you to, you know, get out of that situation and you can swim straight through the sprinklers as well. The thing that makes the sprinkler so great, because it helps the regular 96 so much, so why this is so helpful is because, of course, the 96 has armor, and it could be another viable option for people to actually go for, you know, a different type of midline weapon. So if you actually didn't know, we already have the H3, we already have the Kensa Undercover, we also have the K Gluga Dualies. I won't be surprised if we start seeing more 96 Gal users. The only thing they, of course, they're gonna come across is, you know, bearing with an RNG, random number generator, or just the randomness of how the weapon shoots. Personally, I am okay with, because I feel fine with it. But it's definitely going to be something worth considering, and I know for sure a lot of players are going to get their hands onto this. And honestly, I've already seen some players, including myself, having really tried to utilize how the 96 works. So yeah, I love this. I love this buff. Now, going over the special points and stuff like that, the main things we gotta look for is the Kensa Splatter Shot Pro going from 180 to 200, which is expected. I saw that happening for sure. The H3 Nozzle Nose D, not too much of a problem, although it's something we should definitely look into. 210 to 220. I mean, the H3D paints so much, you probably wouldn't even notice that you even got well, you even, I guess, lost some special from that. And that's probably another reason for why I think a lot more people might start going to go for the 96 cal, since the 96 cal, I believe, is only at 190, so along with that sprinkler buff, it's definitely going to make it a lot easier to get armors if you're going to go ahead and use that weapon. The thing that's kind of unfortunate, of course, the custom Explosher, I thought like the nerfs that it already had was enough. 200 to 210. I mean, of course, like you have an ink efficiency nerfs, and they're nerfing, of course, the special as well. So if you're gonna nerf the ink efficiency too, it's just gonna be so much harder to even actually get the special to 10, because, you know, you're not gonna exactly have enough shots to fire with it. So hard enough for the custom Explosher, especially. The other weapons, I mean, they got buffed, of course. The custom Splash Shot Junior, Kensa Luna, custom Hydra, I mean, okay, fine. I'm not really too sure about that. The Kensa Gluga, though, I mean, I think that's a fair buff for that, from 190 to 180. But pretty much, this is all the patch notes that we have received. So just to give I guess, a little bit of a conclusion of what we may see in this upcoming patch, obviously, is we're definitely going to see more mini Splatlings roaming around and all that. The H3D is still going to be a thing, for sure. No, I have no doubt that that thing is not going to be, like, not used, like, for sure. The weapon's still really, really strong in the right hands. It's still going to be an armor bot for sure, mainly because this weapon paints so much, and rightfully it should, because, of course, killing with this weapon is not easy at all, so it's got to have something to accommodate that for. Well, of course, if you're able to use these two things at the same time, of course, that's what makes it a great weapon. The 96 gal especially, and the 96 Deco, obviously, too. Mainly since the Sloshing machine has been nerfed, there are definitely going to be more, I guess, different weapons that have splashdown options, and I think the 96 gal would be that weapon to have that type of splashdown option, mainly because, of course, long range, really, really good midline for frontline purposes, and since, of course, the Sloshing machine being a lot weaker, I mean, definitely if you're wanting to go for another type of splashdown weapon, the 96 Deco would be that. And of course, the 96, the regular one, of course, that having armor and the sprinkler buff, definitely going to be easier to get some armors. I mean, I've definitely been noticing using this weapon, armor is really easy to get, and it's definitely probably going to be a really good weapon to use if you're trying to go for those armors and all that. So definitely going to see a rise in those weapons, I believe. I just hope that especially the 96 doesn't get nerfed, mainly because I love this weapon so much, and You know, it's probably one of the first times in Splatoon where I actually have some sort of weapon where I actually have a lot of fun playing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like playing the H3 nozzle nose, but compared to the 96, I mean, even before the buffs, I definitely have more fun playing this weapon overall. And of course, last but not least, the Rapid Blasters. We're probably going to see these as well. I mean, when I do say Rapid Blaster, I don't just mean the regular one. Of course, the Rapid Blaster Pro, which is the one with longer range. We're definitely going to see more of those. A lot more people are probably going to incorporate some more main power up. Probably up to 2 mains. I don't feel like people are going to run any more than that. I mean, I don't think this buff is going to be broken, like to the point where people are just going to run 6 mains or anything like that, because I don't think people are crazy enough to actually really do that. I mean, compared to them, I mean, of course, you can see the Kensa Splash Up Pro too, like people run like 3 mains and 1 sub, but for the Rapid Blaster, I doubt that people are going to go for that. I mean, you're going to want some swing speed, you're going to want your base perks like Quick Super Jump, Bomb Defense, Special Saver, all that, so I can't see people actually doing that. But definitely, overall, still a really nice buff for the Rapid Blaster. But yeah, declining the Sloshing machines and the custom Explosher, especially we're not going to see not too much of those. I think we'll still see the custom Explosher more than the Explosher, the Sloshing machine for sure, but that's pretty much what I feel right now. But yeah, but there was a lot that I needed to say for this patch. Unfortunately, of course, I couldn't do a patch comparison video because I was in France, so there will not be a patch comparison video coming out this time around. Sorry about that, guys, but you know, it is what it is. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my opinions on what I think of what we are going to be seeing and, you know, how this meta is going to be shaping up. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of this recent patch. You know, do you like it? Do you still want the Kensa Splash Up Pro to be nerfed? I mean, I'm pretty sure it probably will be in the next patch because a lot of people are now running double Kensa shots. So, you know, I mean, just in my opinion, I don't really feel like it's that much of an issue. Of course, I love the Splash Up Pro in all its glory and all that, but I'm just saying the Splash Up Pro, I mean, technically it doesn't paint that much, and something that really helped it to paint a lot was the Booyah's Bomb spam, and now that's already been nerfed, you know, it makes it kind of harder for Splash Up Pros in general, just get its Booyah Bombs. And even then, when I used to play Splash Up Pro, I would only get at least up to 4 or 5. So now the 4 or 5 is probably going to go to like 2 to 3 a game, maybe. I mean, it really depends if you're how much you're, you know, trading with people and all that. But I don't know. Like the last thing I could probably expect them to do is get rid of like the, you know, the 4.9 damage, but just like the H3 nozzle nose. But that is literally the only thing I could expect them to do. I mean, if they were to do that, I feel like they should buff something else about the Splash Up Pro just so it's not dead. Because obviously when the 49.9 thing for the Splash Up Pro came into effect, or came into the meta and stuff like that, nobody used it. So they gotta give something else for the Splash Up Pro if they're going to get rid of that, you know? So that's just what I feel. I mean, that's all the, you know, things I think that's going to be coming up for this patch. I kind of rambled when I was just about to, you know, close this video off, so sorry about that. But as I said before, let me know in the comment section below of what you guys think of this current patch and what we could expect coming out of this meta. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's been a while since I actually done a videos like this, so thank you very much for watching all the way through. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you did, please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both if you're free and generous. And as always, guys, this has been ThatSrb2DUDE. Make sure to hit the bell notification button next to the subscription button to let you guys know when I'm streaming and making a video and all that type of stuff. With all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you guys in a future video.